Welcome and Happy New Year, and I like to say Happy Better Year. According to the program, I'm Bruce Apar, and it's a distinct honor for me to be asked to do this for the town of Yorktown and for all of these wonderful people up here. And I want to keep this respectful but light. And you might say that what we're witnessing is the political world's People's Choice Awards, because everybody here was chosen by the people of Yorktown who came out to vote. And by the way, not that it's too early to do this, but we could always use more people to get out to vote. So that's one thing. Going into the new year, maybe we all can make a resolution to encourage other people to get out to vote at the next election. Before we get started, or to get us started, I'd like to ask Jerry Knapp, who is the post commander of American Legion Post 1009 here in Yorktown, and his compatriots to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Right.
If you'd all rise and join the VFW members and the American Legion in reciting the Pledge of Allegiance. Present. Thomas. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jerry. Thank you, American Legion and VFW, Paul. Thank you.
Yes, thank you, and thank you for your service. I know my father, may rest in peace, was a proud World War II veteran, and till his last day, he was very close to his comrades in arms. So thank you very much, fellas, for doing that. And now we'd like to ask the pastor of St. Patrick's Church, Father Thomas Kreiser, to deliver the invocation. Oh, I'm sorry. I just hope you don't say ye of little faith referring to me.
I think my boss would be a little bit upset that I got promoted. Let's bow our heads in prayer. Almighty and eternal God, from whom all power comes, we ask you to bless us on this New Year's Day. We ask you in a special way to bless our elected leaders with wisdom and understanding, that they may make laws and policies in conformity with your will and for the good of the people they serve. May we always try to follow your way so that we might one day reign with you, who reigns forever and ever. Amen.
Thank you, Father, and I apologize. I know who my rabbi is, by the way, but and I know you're not a rabbi. We'd like to acknowledge, by the way, New York State Senator Greg Ball, who's here. Greg, Happy New Year. Right. And also with us is Westchester County Legislator Michael Kaplowitz. And his lovely wife, Jane. Right. So we welcome Jane, too. Michael, do you want to... yeah.
You're on the run.
Bruce, ye of little faith. Some would say ye of no faith, but that's... I call you ye of good faith. Here you go. Happy and healthy New Year to everybody. Elections are over, but government continues. I'm proud to be your county legislator, proud to work with this fine team of individuals. Dave has promised us little or no snow this week, which, as his first New Year's promise, you know how New Year's resolutions go. And Mike has asked for a tax amnesty for county real estate tax for every Yorktown resident in 2014.
Yeah. And you're going to give them that.
And we will take that under advisement, ladies and gentlemen. To each and every one of you, a happy and a healthy. To this town board and to this fine supervisor, John Testa and I, as county legislators, continue to promise to work with you, to coordinate with you, to discharge our responsibilities in consultation with you in a bipartisan fashion. And with your understanding, I'm going to go down and join John and Rob Astorino, our fine county executive, in a ceremony he has where he's getting sworn in down at the county. So I bid you all adieu, wish you all well, and we got a lot of work to do. Thank you very much.
Mike, congratulations. Best of luck to you and your family.
official yet?
I'm official, yes.
Oh, you are?
Not the second part, the first part.
I mean, the chair.
The first guy or the second guy?
Okay, all right. Well, good luck. We hope on January 6th, Michael will be certified as the chair of the Westchester County Board of Legislators. So we look forward to that, right? And we have a gentleman with us I know I've met before and I've heard before, and you're in for a treat. I know that. He actually is a certified teaching assistant in the Yorktown Central School District, and his voice will sing and speak for itself, but please welcome to lead us in America the beautiful Fred Campesano.
Oh, beautiful for spacious skies, for amber waves of grain, for purple mountains' majesty above the fruited plains. America, America, God shed his grace on thee, and crown thy good with brotherhood from sea to shining sea.
Thank you, Fred. Beautiful song, beautifully sung. Thank you very much. You really did it justice. I also want to acknowledge, since we are in Town Hall, my eagle eye is spotted in the audience, Town Clerk Alice Roker. Alice, welcome. And Comptroller Pat Caporal. Pat, right. And also Chair of the Yorktown Parks and Rec Commission, Diana Quast. Diana, right. And by the way, Pat and Diana, along with Brian Gray and outgoing Highway Superintendent Eric DiBartolo, did, for those of you, I hope, who were there or maybe saw it on TV, because it was televised, one of the Supervisor's initiatives in its second year, the Holiday Electric Lights Parade, which they all engineered, and it was wonderful this year. It was really great, so thanks for that, too. So as we mentioned before, or somebody shouted out, January is named for the Roman god of beginnings and transitions, Janus. And in mythology, Janus is depicted as being two-faced, but only in the best sense was he two-faced, looking forward and backward. And of course, today we're here looking to the future. And you look back to presumably learn for the future. But what's interesting to me is Janus also was a Roman god who presided over conflicts. Not that, we're going to have anything to do with that today, because we have 364 days to deal with that the rest of the year. But in the spirit of January being a month of duality, for those here today who were selected by voters in November to serve the best interests of the community, it occurred to me that what's interesting, and such is life, that it's always contrasts and balance, that it's also a time for them to be proud yet humble, to be confident yet cautious, to be decisive yet collegial, to be knowledgeable yet curious, and to be disciplined yet gracious. And I know that they all, knowing each of them, which is my privilege, I know going forward that we can expect them to follow all of those guidelines of behavior. It's been my real pleasure to know this fine gentleman who's going to come up now for 20 years. Where is he? Oh, there he is. For 20 years, because when we moved into Yorktown, which I often say, and I really mean it's the best thing I ever did for my family, was moving to this town. His son and my son, my late son Harrison, were good friends, and Gary Jr. used to come over to the house all the time, and it was really wonderful and warm when I saw Gary elected judge, which was what, Gary, when was it? 2 years ago. Yeah, 2 years ago. Right, yeah.
Today.
And Oh, really? Yeah, that's right, today. He has his own practice. He's been an assistant DA in Westchester County. And one of the things I want to do when we call people up, again, just to keep this intimate and friendly, I have fun facts about everybody. And believe me, they're not embarrassing facts. They're just fun facts. Well, I guess it's for their families to decide if they're embarrassing. I don't know. But one of the things about Gary I know is that, you know, both he and I, you know, we're getting on in years, and he's slowed down a little bit. So he doesn't go to the gym 2 times a day anymore, which he used to do. He used to go to the gym 2 times a day. So now he tells me he goes at 4:30 in the morning. And I asked him when he told me this, but Gary, the gym opens at 5. He's in the lobby stretching at 4:30 in the morning. So all I could say is, I hope I never have to go before you on the bench, because obviously you will be prepared. So anyhow, please welcome the Honorable Town Justice of Yorktown, Honorable Gary Raniolo.
All right, thank you very much, Bruce, and good afternoon, and welcome everyone here. It's my extreme pleasure and privilege and honor to be giving the oaths of office to our elected officials here. And before I begin with the oaths of office, since the first oath of office to be given will be to my partner, Judge Salvatore Lagonia, I want to say a few words about Judge Lagonia. Since I was elected, he welcomed me with open arms. He's been a great teacher, and it's been a great privilege to be serving as town judge with Judge Lagonia. And I also want to let everyone know that before we start, that there's a tradition in the judiciary. So when a judge takes his oath of office, after it's given, he then dons his robe, and that's usually assisted by a loved one. And I believe the loved one to assist Judge Lagonia today would be his lovely wife, Loretta Lagonia. And this symbolizes the administration of justice. All right, so we're going to call my partner.
Okay, well, first I have to do.
Okay.
I know this is a little awkward, but this is town government. So.
Okay, town government. I'll take a step back.
So things work very slow.
I didn't say that. I didn't say that, Terrence.
You can't progress too quick.
And also, I wanted to mention that with Gary is his lovely wife, Georgianne. And right. It's, you know, it's the season of giving, or at least I guess, well, it should be the season of giving every season. But the holiday time, of course, is a pronounced season of giving. And I think it's appropriate that these gentlemen up here have been given the gift of public service, and they're giving us the gift of public service. But I also feel that the best gifts are not material and that they come from family. So when I introduce each of the elected or the electees who will be sworn in, I want to mention if there is family here with them, because I think that's extremely important. For those of you who watch Yorktown elections, and I think probably everybody here does, I think you'll appreciate that the election was a real nail-biter for Judge Lagonia. Well, yeah, it's true, you know, because actually I believe that there was somebody who thought for a minute about running against him. But he was unopposed, and deservedly so. He's what you might call a high-flying judge. It probably would be easier to list what he doesn't do than what he does, but he's sort of Yorktown's Renaissance man. He has his own law practice. He's an aviator, and one of his law specialties is aviation. And I believe also the judge has been an advisor to the Aviation Association, right? He's gone on rescue missions. And speaking of music, if you've never heard him play the trumpet, you really should make it your business to hear him, because he's wonderful. He's a virtuoso trumpeter, and he's performed locally many times, and we all hope he will continue to do that.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. His lovely wife, Loretta, as we said, is here. And anybody who knows the Lagonias, all you have to say is Mom, and we all know who we're talking about. And all the best to Mom, Loretta. So, but the fun fact about Judge Lagonia, and this is a pretty high-level fun fact, when he wanted to bring some people, when he was first elected 4 years ago, and he wanted to bring some people to the Supreme Court, and I do mean the Supreme Court in Washington, you have to go through, understandably, a ritual, and he had been elected in November, and it's December. He was not sworn in as a judge yet, and of course, we all know about Judge Lagonia's integrity, he saw that Chief Justice Roberts was going to read this script that identified Sal as Judge Lagonia, and he insisted I am not sworn in, so I should not be referred to as a judge. And then when he went before Chief Justice John Roberts of the Supreme Court, Chief Justice Roberts said to him, as far as I'm concerned, and he decreed, as of today, you are a judge. And so our own town Justice Lagonia was basically christened by Chief Justice Roberts before he was sworn in Yorktown, which I think is a wonderful story. So, and so now I will leave it to the two judges to do their thing. No? Well, I guess anyhow, please welcome Judge Sal Lagonia.
I get to be tall.
You get to be tall.
I get to be tall.
She's always worried about not being tall
I'm
enough.
tall.
Look how tall she is today.
And it's my great privilege and distinct honor to swear in my partner in the Yorktown Town Court, Judge Salvatore Lagonia. Judge, you have to listen to me now.
I always do.
All right, you raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, Sal Lagonia, do solemnly swear
I, Sal Lagonia, do solemnly swear
to support and uphold the Constitution of the United States
to support and uphold the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New York,
and the Constitution of the State of New York,
and I will faithfully discharge
and I will faithfully discharge
the duties of the Office of Town Justice
the duties of the Office of Town Justice
to the best of my ability,
to the best of my ability,
so help me God.
so help me God.
Congratulations, Your Honor.
Thank you.
God bless you. Looking good,
Great,
Judge.
Sal.
Thank you, and thank you for the great honor of being able to serve you for the next 4 years as your town justice, especially alongside the best partner I could ever ask for in Judge Raniolo. I cannot tell you how wonderful it is to see the transformation of the court with a willing partner sitting next to me at all times, and with a staff that is second to none, represented today by my chief clerk, Isabel Klein. Isabel, thank you. You know, it's correct that I was unopposed this year, and I appreciate the support I had, not from one political party, but from all political parties, and that's very moving to me, because the judiciary should never be a partisan issue. We shouldn't care who's a Republican or a Democrat or anything else. It should always be what's fair and equitable, and that's was easily for me to focus on that this year rather than have to worry about running for office, and I appreciate that a great deal. I want to thank all of you for your support. You've supported me greatly over the last years. I want to thank this town board, who has done wonderful with the court. We've worked very closely together, and we've done the transformation of the court in 4 years that we wanted, but we could not do it without this great supervisor and the town board, the way it has worked for us. I also want to thank all the people who volunteered for our campaign. You know, when you're unopposed, they say, do you have a campaign? Well, you still have an obligation to go out there and talk to people and tell them what you feel and tell them what you think you've been doing, and tell them and hear them and hear what they have to say. And we wanted to do that, and we did that all year long, as if there were 14 people running against us. That never was an issue, and I was so happy to be able to do that. And of course, the one person above all else who has to be thanked is the one person I call the Rock. She is not only my office administrator, she is my campaign manager, she is my #1 fan, she is everything I could ever ask for in a person, and of course she is also my wife and the love of my life, and that's my wife Loretta. So thank you all. Judge Raniolo and I set out tomorrow to continue the administration of justice, and that's the most important thing for the town of Yorktown, and God bless you all.
Up here? Who's been? Should I be in the middle? You should get Georgiana too.
Georgiana, come up here. I'm not going to leave you out. Come on up here.
All right, then we should
We know better.
switch sides.
Right, thank you.
And I hope everyone here heard the wonderful bagpipes coming in, and we want to thank Scott MacGyver for doing that. So, And speaking of our great supervisor, I also want to acknowledge and thank his great executive assistant, Mary Kaposha, who does a great job. And also, along with Mary, Matt Slater helped put this whole event together today, so thank you. Right. Well, our next electee has had an interesting road to the political spotlight. You might say it's been fast and furious. We all know him, had been one of the most popular restaurateurs in Yorktown, a friend to many charities, including our own, which we always will be indebted to him for. And we all know he's a very hard worker. We know he's a very hard campaigner. He had a hard fight, but he didn't leave anything to chance, you might say. Dave gets out there and really pounds the pavement, as the expression goes. He was elected in 2011 as a town councilman. And now you might say he's, for those of you who remember Roger Miller, king of the road. And we want to also acknowledge that with him today is his lovely wife, Nancy, and his daughter, Julia. So thanks for being here. Right. And I know Vanessa is with you in spirit, of course. Yeah. Right. Emphasis on the spirit, maybe. Okay. But I on the side do acting in it, and one of the things I'm learning is it's interesting. It's really not about being on stage and performing. It's about preparation. Now, Dave had, in his own way, very interesting preparation. To get into the highway superintendent frame of mind, and the way he's going to have to really crack the whip, so to speak. I mean, the department does a great job as it is, but that it's not an easy job. And I think Dave expects tonight he's going to hit the ground running, literally. Right. But so Dave's preparation was that he was the Grinch in the Holiday Electric Lights Parade. And not only was he the Grinch, he won an award for it. So the highway department, watch out, fellas, okay? But anyhow, please welcome for the swearing in our new highway superintendent, Dave Paganelli.
Nancy, stand on that side. Hello, Nancy. You want to swear in the Bible? Sure. Put your left hand there. All right, raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, Dave Paganelli.
I, Dave Paganelli. I'm going to cut you short.
Do solemnly swear.
Do solemnly swear.
To support and uphold the Constitution of the United States.
To support and uphold the Constitution of the United States.
And the Constitution of the State of New York.
And the Constitution of the State of New York.
And I will faithfully discharge.
And I will faithfully discharge.
The duties of the office of Superintendent of Highways for the town of Yorktown.
The duties of the office of Superintendent of Highways for the town of Yorktown.
To the best of my ability.
To the best of my ability.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Very good. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Good to see you, man.
Thank you.
You really worked hard for that one, too.
I didn't prepare a speech, and I'm usually a man of short, speeches and few words, but I'd like to thank everyone here today for coming out after New Year's Eve. I'd like to thank everyone who worked so tirelessly on my campaign, and, certainly anyone who's run for office realizes it's something you can't do on your own. You need good people around you to keep you on the straight and narrow, make sure you get out and work hard. And I'd like to thank the residents of Yorktown for entrusting me with this very big responsibility, and I promise not to disappoint anyone. Thank you very much.
So, Dave, I guess you're going to have baptism by fire.
I think that's
or by snow. Right? Baptism by snow, I guess it would be.
Snow tonight.
Right, yeah.
It's only going to be a footer, so don't worry about it.
School's off tomorrow? My kids want to know.
Nance, come on up, Nance. Come on up, Nance. Don't be bashful.
He doesn't bite. It's okay. We know him a long time. We know.
Dave's holding his hand.
We know to be afraid.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Gary.
And we should mention that Councilman Vishnu Patel, who cannot be here, was reelected to a second term. Now, this is a good opportunity for a social studies lesson. So what happens with his swearing in? Oh, he was sworn in. Oh, okay. All right. Okay. All right. Thank you. All right. Yeah. And anyhow, we wish him well, and we'll be seeing a lot of Vishnu all over the place. I was going to say, if he was here, I was going to say a fun fact about Vishnu is that, contrary to popular belief, there's only one of him. But okay. Seems like there's 10 of them, but and seriously, that really speaks to his immense credit. He's a role model as far as somebody who volunteers in the community, and he can't do enough for this community. By the way, is Terrence here? Oh. Oh, okay.
I'm on my way.
That's going on YouTube.
Funny, I think, as we all know, Dr. Murphy was reelected to a second term. He's obviously a very popular vote getter, and in the entertainment business, they have something called the Q factor. This is really, but you know about that. The Q factor is an intangible with celebrities, actors, performers, as to their likability. So it's not necessarily the box office numbers or anything like that. It's just an intangible that's assigned a likability factor. Terrence's Q is off the charts. I think we all know that. Right. We all know he's part of one of the best known and best loved families in Yorktown, who runs Murphy's Irish Restaurant. Murphy's. He's as a proud son, sibling, father, husband. He is a doctor of sports medicine. He advises many youth groups. We know he's full of passion. He's a people person. There's always something brewing with Terrence on tap, right? Okay, all right.
That's good. You're right, Bruce.
I'm trying. And we certainly want to acknowledge, it's wonderful to see his beautiful family, wife Caroline, daughter Michaela, beautiful Michaela, sons Jack and Kian, and of course the head of the family. I saw Patrick is here, right? Aaron is here as well, right? Sean is not, right? Right, and of course we all know the wonderful Mrs. Denise Murphy. So thanks for being with us. Matriarch, that's the word I was looking for. Matriarch, right? It just came to me, right? And so one of the fun facts about Terrence you already know is that he's, I guess he used to be an expert in sports trivia until I asked him that question. But yeah, I know. Okay. But what I didn't know is that he's been around the world. I didn't know this, Terrence. You've lived in Japan, Italy, Greece, right? And a certain somebody close to you told me that by the time you left Italy, you were speaking Italian.
I was there for a year.
Well, okay. So maybe when you're sworn in, you want to, No? Okay, all right.
It was in '86, Bruce.
Anyhow, please welcome Councilman Dr. Terrence Murphy.
What is this thingamajig?
Okay. Bring Yaz.
Hey, Jack, why don't you stand on this side?
You stay over here. Put Yaz up here.
Hold us over here, because Dad's going to put his left hand on the Bible.
Yeah, it's Grandpa's Bible. Your Grandpa died.
You want to
This
hold
was
Bible
it.
to Dad?
Okay.
All right. Mr. Murphy. All right, would you raise your right hand and repeat after me? I, Terrence Murphy, do solemnly swear
I, Terrence Murphy, do solemnly swear.
to support and uphold the Constitution of the United States
That's way too much. To uphold the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New York,
and the Constitution of the State of New York,
and I will faithfully discharge
and I will faithfully discharge
the duties of the office of Councilman for the town of Yorktown,
the duties of the
of the office
of Councilman
for the town of Yorktown, to the best of my ability.
to the best of my ability.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations, Councilman Murphy. It's always a pleasure. I love you. Thank you very much. I'm here because of you,
Thank
brother,
you.
and I mean that.
I know that. You will win. Okay. I'm going to say a few words. Jack, come up here. You can stay here. Come in here.
Put this Bible on.
Yeah, you can put it inside.
I got
Grandpa's.
this. You just talk.
This goes on the shelf.
There. This is easy.
Well, first of all, Happy New Year to everybody, and thank you so much for coming out here today, this afternoon. I'd just like to thank a few people here. I know he's probably got about 10 different other places to go, but I'd like to acknowledge a personal friend of mine who has kept me with regards to on track with politics and just actually a personal friend of mine, Senator Greg Ball. Senator, thank you. Thank you for coming here, Greg. I know you got about 10 other places to go, but it's a big effort. Thank you. Yeah. But there's also, Jerry and Carl. Thank you so much for coming here and leading us in the Pledge of Allegiance. It means a lot to the town of Yorktown. Our veterans who have made us, America, what we are today, you guys are the best. Thank you so much. To my personal family and friends, I think Bruce had said this, you can't do this by yourself. There's district leaders, there's personal family and friends here in Yorktown? Okay. That you know what? You got to go out and knock on the doors, and the reality is that, I'm born and raised here in the town of Yorktown. I want to do the right thing for you guys. The reality is that we just got to make it affordable for us to stay here. And that is my number one goal. I don't have any agenda, and that's my agenda, is to make sure you can stay here. To my mother-in-law and father-in-law, thank you so much for taking such good care of my kids. My mom, please, thank you so much. Dad would be so proud of us. My sister Erin and her fiance David, thank you for everything you do for me. And it's the phone calls that I don't answer, and I get back to you a day later. And my brother Pat and Sean and Aaron, and Colleen and Dennis, they're somewhere out there. But I'm sure they'd be here if they could. But at the end of the day, going out and making a sacrifice for public service. I mean, this is my town. This is what I want to represent to you, the people of Yorktown. I thank you so much for reelecting me. I think I've done the first 4 years the best job I could ever do. I plan on doing the next 4 years the best job I could possibly do. And I could not do this without my rock, like Sal said. This is my rock right here. When you need to be at 10 different places, like Bruce says, Vishnu's, duped. I try and be duped, but at the end of the day, you're trying to be at 3 or 4 different events, and you know what? I cannot, you got to understand, I cannot do it without my partner right here, because when I call up and say, oh, someone just called me and I got to be over here, she said, what? I got the kids. I said, at the end of the day, she has been my unbelievable rock soulmate, and I thank you so much.
Love you, baby.
And would you like to say hello?
No, we're good.
And Michaela, Jack, and Kian, we're going to move forward for the next 4 years. Thank you again. Hun.
Oh, come on.
Pete, come on. Yeah.
One more time. Oh my God, I got you.
Is he smiling?
Yeah.
Yes.
Perfect.
Finally.
All right, Bubba.
I don't know if you heard, now you know why Senator Ball is so successful. He goes, that's a mailer, take 2 more.
It's not a picture, it didn't happen.
No, actually, you know what I was going to say? You know, Terrence, when you buy a picture frame and it comes with that sample photo, did your family pose for that? Is that, it's really good genes. And I'm sorry, I didn't mean to acknowledge Caroline's parents are here, John and Mary O'Connell, which Terrence referred to, so. Jack, you're going to put me out of a job. You know? You'll be up here next time. Although Senator Ball will have your sweater, so you have to find a new one. So. Oh, okay. I see you had a good Christmas. Okay. Well, finally we get to the chief. Who's become a very good friend. Depending on whether you think the supervisor's term should be 2 years or 4 years, he's either starting his second term or at the midway point of his first term. I'm sorry. I don't know where that came from. But Supervisor Grace set a very ambitious agenda in his first mini-term that I know he's eager to continue and to build upon. For those of you who know him, you know that he's a self-proclaimed motorhead and justifiably proud of that. And I have to tell you that as I've gotten to know him over the past several years, his mastery of math and science and processes and anything mechanical, I mean, any subject that comes up when we do Grace Notes, it never ceases to amaze me. He just immediately grasps the essence of things and understands them and then can explain them, even though I don't always understand when you're talking about effluents in the water and things like that. But
just don't give me a fact checker.
Okay, right. Okay, right. I don't think the town wants to afford one, or wants to budget one, I should say, and neither do the taxpayers. Although he has been known to let his mastery with a hammer go to his head, but that's another story. Okay. Anyhow, let's see. On the groan scale, that was about an 8. Okay. And all this time, I thought it was my puns that left you in stitches. Right. That's right. But actually, a really interesting, you might say, fun fact, but it's a lot more than a fun fact about the supervisor. I don't think you'll mind. Actually, his brother Bill, his partner in the law firm, told me this when I was over in the office one day. I was so stunned and taken aback by this. You all know Lord of the Rings, the trilogy, and right. Do you know who wrote it? Right. Well, Supervisor Grace's father knew J.R.R. Tolkien. He was a professor at Oxford, right? An English professor at Oxford, as well as C.S. Lewis. Yeah, I mean, when I heard that, I go, "Wow, that's big." And I was going to say, if you don't know who J.R.R. Tolkien is, then you never watched Dallas. But you know, but actually, I was going to say you better develop better reading habits. But he's I better talk right. I better get to the point and talk right over it. But we want to acknowledge his daughter Rosie's here and his son George. Thank you for being with us. Anyhow, I'm very, very pleased to ask to come up our re-elected supervisor, the Honorable Michael Grace.
Come on that side here, that's in there. Want to hold the Bible for Dad? Put your left hand on the Bible. All right, please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, Michael Grace.
I, Michael Grace.
Do solemnly swear.
Do solemnly swear.
To support and uphold the Constitution of the United States.
To support and uphold the Constitution of the United States.
And the Constitution of the State of New York.
And the Constitution of the State of New York.
And I will faithfully discharge.
And I will faithfully discharge.
The duties of the office of Town Supervisor for the Town of Yorktown.
And the duties of
the office
of the Town Supervisor of the Town of Yorktown.
To the best of my ability.
To the best of my ability.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Mr. Supervisor, congratulations.
Well, like everyone else, I want to thank everybody. This is a great crowd, and it's a real honor and privilege to have been reelected. It's been very nice the fact that the election results were overwhelming in our favor, which means that we did the right thing in the first term, first 2 years. We're moving the town of Yorktown ahead. I did have an aggressive agenda. A lot of things did get accomplished, and we're going to accomplish a lot more, and we're going to pick up where we continue and try to move Yorktown and make it more livable. It's great being reelected because I get to play Santa Claus 2 more years. All kidding aside, I mean, that's one of the things I'm really most proud about. Yorktown, to me, I supervised the last 2 years. I go to a lot of different towns. I deal with people down on the county level. We supervisors of the towns in Westchester meet on a regular basis, and I'm going to tell you that Yorktown is an exceptional place. There is no other town like Yorktown, and to see the level of volunteerism, the type of community spirit that we have here, the people that can contribute, it's absolutely fantastic and amazing. I look at my role as a supervisor to basically accommodate and facilitate the Yorktown exceptionalism that exists. It's getting the town of Yorktown, the people out there, to know that they have a friend at Town Hall who's always going to be there for them and support them in their passions and their initiatives. And that's the most important thing. Government should be in the background, not in the forefront. Leadership is sometimes just giving support and getting out of the way for those out there that want to do so much for the town. And we've made great progress. We really have. We're seeing new businesses open. We're seeing town government step into the background and let those businesses flourish and do what they need to do to bring our local economy back. One thing I do want to say, I try to keep it really short. I have a lot of discussions with my family. I have a very intellectual family. And we always seem to get around at Christmas time and discuss politics, et cetera, et cetera. This Christmas holiday, I went to go see the movie The Book Thief. And in my family, it was a very special event because I got to take my mother to it, who was 91, and was a German Jew who had take refuge from the Nazis and put on the Kindertransport. She suffered through the Blitzkriegers and the bombings. My siblings, we all went, and we decided, we're going to bring my mom, and we were worried what her reaction was going to be, because she lived through it. And it was kind of funny. She wanted to leave the movie in the first scene because I don't want to blow the movie for anybody. There's a little girl that gets orphaned and goes through a step family in Germany, which is kind of what my mother ended up doing, being orphaned and having to go to a step family. In her case, on a ship and over into London. And there was a German mother who was very gruff, and there was supposed to be two kids that were supposed to be given to her, and there was only one because the young brother died on the way to being given to the family. And the German mother's like, "Where's the other one? And what is she doing?" And just actually, and my mother said, "You know what? She couldn't stand the lady. She wanted to leave the movie there." And us kids were all laughing because we said, "What, Mom? That's you." She was tough as tough can be, but she had to be to survive. But she had a heart. No one I know had a bigger heart than my mom. And we all. We began a discussion about the movie and politics in general, and one of the things I always say is that, and one of the great lessons of World War II was, we talk about our principles of government and how we have to have mutual respect and understanding for each other. I come from a mother that had a Jewish background and a father that actually, yes, he did know a lot of famous people, but he also ghost wrote for Cardinal Spellman. What the most important thing and the one principle that we all have to be guided by is to understand that in each of us resides the divine. We're all God's creations. And once we really understand that, then we can really have the deep mutual respect and kindness and sense of charity to each other. What the Nazis did to the Jews, They had to dehumanize them in order to slaughter them the way they did. So they had to make them less than human, and to do that, they had to erase the divine out of them. They had to make, if the Germans and the Nazis recognized the divinity in each one of those Jews, never would have happened. So there was a propagandized to make them less than human, make them animal, and that had to be to take the divinity out of them. And history shows us that they didn't succeed. What they did is they exalted the divine in the Jews, and they dehumanized themselves. The Nazis were the ones that dehumanized. And that's a lesson for all of us. Government, everything that we do, but most important, all our rights, all our constitutional rights, arise from the basic principle that we're all infused with the divine. And that is the important thing. Once we start with those principles and lead with those principles and have mutual respect for each other, then we can have a discourse and ideas. We can have we can know what direction, we can have respectful debate. And you know, this, our town, Yorktown, I think that notion is alive and well because it's an exceptional town with exceptional people. And I thank you for the privilege of giving me another 2 years to try to do my best.
Yeah, right. Well, that about does it. And the Murphys want everybody to know that you're encouraged and invited to repair to the restaurant to continue this celebration. And did I mention I do weddings and bar mitzvahs? I don't know. But I think there's no better way to start the year and to end this particular ceremony than for all of us to send off our leaders with a round of encouragement. So thank you.